All right, so we're down here in the workshop today, down at the quail area, to talk about one of the biggest concerns you're always worried when you leave the house, or you leave the barn, or in our case, when we leave the quail facility, is having a flood from your water or pipes breaking, bursting. So we've all been there. You just finished up at the barn, or you just leaving your house for the weekend, and you didn't realize it, and something is leaking everywhere. You've got a pipe leaking, or you've got like a hose froze and it started leaking.
Usually with these, because I drop them and then they crack and then they start leaking.
And then you've got water sitting there spraying, you didn't realize it. Hey everyone, this is Dana, and we're back here today on the channel to check out Frizzlife LP365 series. This is a smart water monitor and shutoff valve. And so the idea behind this is we're down here in the quail barn, the quail facility, and we remotely monitor everything down here from the house. And so this valve is able to monitor all your water flow and monitor if you have a water leak condition, a flow when you're not expecting a flow, and actually shut it off in an emergency. So we're going to get this installed for you, get it set up. The barn is approximately 1,000 feet from the house, so the ability to monitor our water conditions in the barn remotely is really going to help out here on the farm. This is also a flow meter, so we can monitor our usage, how many gallons we use, get an idea how much water the quail are actually using. So we got sent this from Frizzlife to give you guys a review of it and check it out for you. We'll get it installed. We're going to go through the very first thing we're doing is get it unboxed. So this is available in 1 inch and 3/4. We're going to be installing it on 3/4 PEX today, or this is also available in 1 inch, 1.25 inch. Adapters, it's actually 1 inch on the unit itself, and we'll be switching it down to 3/4 with the adapter. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get the Frizzlife Smart Water Monitor system open here and unboxed. So they've got advertised right here on the box. So we've got leak detection, automatic water shutoff, 24/7 real-time alerts, and an app-based controller. So we'll see how all that works after we get it installed. We'll go ahead and get the box open. All right, and right off the top here, we've got their contact info if you need to get a hold of Frizzlife. We've got the instruction manual, owner's manual, quick setup, quick pairing guide. All right, and we've got the smart valve itself in here. So let's see, we've got, here's the fittings. Looks like it came with a roll of Teflon tape. Power cord and the power adapter, USB powered, 5 volt with a watertight seal on it. What is beeping? Must be the water meter. Oh, it is. It's beeping before I've even taken it out of the box. Look at that. All right. There we go, there we go. Sorry about that, sorry about that. There's some plastic in the way. All right, it is out of the box. There's some plastic on the screen right here. Don't worry about that later. Inlet and outlet is marked clearly on the model LP365, and we've got our covers in there. There is an internal battery on this unit that looks like it's going to recharge right through the cable here that's going to connect up to our USB charger. Inlet, outlet. So this is the inlet side, outlet side. I keep touching the screen and making noises. Let's see. Okay. Settings, protect mode, unprotect mode, open, query, and valve control. Well, the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get the adapters on so we can get this set over to 3/4 PEX. So we have these end caps on, inlet and outlet. We're going to go ahead and take those off. And then go ahead and grab the washer, and it's going to go right inside this fitting. There is no Teflon tape needed on this fitting. This is like a compression style fitting here. And we're going to go ahead and tighten that on there. And we're going to do the same with the outlet, is make sure you get your silicone washer in there. It would help if I took the cover off. Take off our protective cover. Make sure you have the silicone washer in place, and we will go ahead and screw that onto the valve. And we're going to take our crescent wrench and snug this down. So go ahead and snug that down with a crescent wrench. And remember, plumbing is the art of getting things tight enough that they don't leak, but not so tight you break them. So you're not trying to kill this, but you want to get it snug. And we'll go over to the outlet, and we'll go ahead and tighten down the outlet side, and we're just squishing the washer in place there. Like I said, we don't need to overdo it. This is just a washer fitting. Don't need to kill it, and it's on. All right, we are connecting this to our 3/4 PEX system. So the next part of the install is we're going to take place here on the workbench before we ever get over to the pipe. We're going to go ahead and install our adapters to switch over to PEX. And so we've got a couple we got a couple of female, 2 male pipe thread fittings, and these will adapt us over to the PEX with the crimp rings. Now this is going to require a little Teflon tape, so the kit comes with a roll of Teflon tape, or I have a roll of Teflon Blue Monster tape that I'm going to use on it, so I'll go ahead and wrap these with Teflon tape. We got the adapters that we're going to go ahead and screw onto the ends. And we'll go ahead and snug that down. Use a backup wrench. I see why they put serrations on the threads now, because there is a washer there that could start turning. So I went ahead and used my little pair of channel locks here to grab onto the threaded area, because it's not going all the way down onto those threads. Valve like this, it's best to go ahead and set it up as a bypass, so you have a bypass around this in case you have any issues. So we're going to go ahead and make a bypass right now and show you what that looks like, and then we're going to install it all as a unit. All right, anytime you're working with PEX tubing, let's go ahead and square off the end because it's a little crooked to start off with. Then we're just going to make up a couple of short little nipples right here. They don't have to be very long, to hold our bypass loop. So we're going to do one little nipple, and we'll get the next one approximately the same size. Yeah, make sure we have a couple of crimp rings in place. So we've got our T fitting, and then we're going to take our little shark bite nipple, 2 crimp rings. We're going to go ahead and put it on the other side here. We won't crimp any of this up until we get everything in place. That way it's all fitted first. So as part of our bypass, we need our bypass valve. So our bypass valve is going to come right out here in space as the pipes come up into it. We've cut ourselves a couple of risers. We'll go ahead and install these with a 90. There's a riser on the other side. So we'll go ahead and put 2 of these press fittings on there. And we'll put this as a riser on the other side. Okay, so for the valve, we've got ourselves a 3/4 inch. It's a shark bite valve. And so we're going to go ahead and make sure we mark our PEX pipe for the depth insertion. So go ahead and get your PEX marking tool up. We've got a crimp ring on. We'll hook the other side of the 90. Okay, so you can see we got the bypass assembly almost fully assembled here. We'll just get the last piece measured out. So now we've got the bypass fully assembled, but it's not crimped in place. As you can see, the rings are still loose. So the next step is, now that you got it all pre-assembled, is every one of these rings needs to be crimped. You need to make sure they're in the right place. You see each of the rings should be slid up against the plastic supports for the standoff distance on the ring. And you're going to go through and crimp each one of these rings. Start from one end and work your way all the way around. Clockwise is how I prefer to do it. Then none of them get left out. Because if you forget one of the rings, you go to connect it up, it'll probably hold pressure for a little bit. And before you know it, it'll start spraying everywhere. You don't want to do that. So do all the rings in order and make sure you get all the rings. So we've gone through and we have crimped all the rings. And what we are left with now is one inlet and one outlet again. with a bypass on the top that we can shut on and off as we need to. Okay, so we're back here at the actual water supply for the quail building for the barn, and this is where the water comes in from over 1,000 feet away over at my well. And so this is the area that we're going to want to monitor. This is the water service for the building. We'll go ahead and tie the valve right in there. I think that still gives us enough space to get to the power on it. Yeah, we could get to the power on it. So I just got a straight coupling here, 3/4 straight, and we'll just crimp that on between the two to get the whole building back in service. Before we get it hooked up to the app, we got to go ahead and get power over to the unit. So on the back side is the little power cable. You see there it is right there, a little watertight connector on there. And screw that cap together after you push them in. And in the box they provide you with a power adapter. So we'll go ahead and get this plugged in and hooked up to the wall. And I heard it beep. Looks like it's got power now. So it's time to set it up and get it programmed. Okay, so I've got the whole bypass hooked back up, back to the water main here. So we'll go ahead and turn the water back on and pressure check the system. So everything we just connected and the fittings on the valve itself from Frizzlife, we want to go ahead and make sure nothing is leaking because we just messed with the whole system. And we'll go ahead and shut off the bypass because we don't need it right now. So we'll put this valve in service right here. So next we'll go ahead and get the app set up so we can start running the Frizzlife smart water monitor system. So we'll go ahead and put our smart water monitor into pairing mode, and we got to hit the protect, unprotect, and the query button, and we got to hold them together for 5 seconds till we hear the beep and enters pairing. So I can see a little Wi-Fi icon blinking. I believe it's entered pairing. So let's go ahead. Now we're back to the iPhone, and we'll go up here to add device. Go ahead and hit allow. And right here popped up the top, our smart water monitor, so we'll go ahead and pair with that. It's loading. Now we'll go ahead and connect this to the Wi-Fi. We have the NSA barn Wi-Fi, and we'll go ahead and connect to that with my super secret password that you don't get to see. And now the smart water life monitor is being set up. Okay, we've successfully added it. We'll go ahead and hit done, and we'll go in and take a look at the settings. Leak test. Water supply valve is open and all fixtures are closed. Please do the test with strong network signal. Do not operate the device during test. So we'll go ahead and run the leak test. There is 5 minutes remaining on the leak test. We've detected a small water leak of